Because you worked in Hollywood as a security guard or
I was
something?
security. So I used to work for like CAA, Creative Artists Agency. It's like every day that I was sitting there, it's like people come with their scripts, try to like pitch me the story. I'm like, it's like,
To you, the security guard.
yeah, to me, it's like, it's like, oh yeah, I just want to talk to an agent. It's like, okay, so I go, do you have a referral? It's like, no, but this story's so great. It's this and this and this. Like, okay, I'll make sure it gets to somebody. So like, oh, thanks. So then I would just take that script, and we had a bin, and we just threw the scripts in there. And at the end of the night, we take that little bin, dump it in a dumpster,
Damn.
and there went all those stories. There was probably some good movies in there.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Film Goals Podcast. I'm Major Contreras, and today I'm with the one and only Juan Espinosa, a.k.a. Handsome Felipe, a.k.a. The Rose. What's up?
Doing good.
How you been,
AKA
bro?
many different characters too.
How you been, bro?
Been good.
It's been a minute.
Oh my God, it's like what, 7-8 years ago since we first started.
It hasn't been that long. Well, as I've seen you, it hasn't been that long, but it's been a minute.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have you on as one of the first ones because for my filmmaking journey, our web series that we created was kind of like the start of like writing, directing, editing, doing all the aspects of filmmaking, like independently ourselves. So what do you remember of like, because you were the one who had the idea. So
It was
what do you remember?
Yeah, because I remember because we're still all working. We're working at a studio. We were doing basically mostly stock footage that was supposed to go online. People could buy it, use it, but fell through. But since we had a studio, I was like, hey, why don't we just make a studio web series about us, just there. It's like, we're just up and coming. We have no connections, nothing. It's like, so why don't we just do something? We had all the resources there, like the studio, the camera. So I was like, screw it. Let's just start doing it.
Do you remember like what sparked the idea?
Oh, man. It was just, what sparked the idea was like the stuff that we were doing, like just the regular normal stuff. Like, for example, when we had like these two employees. His name was Josh. And the other one was, God, what was his name? The guy with the long hair. We never worked, but talked good.
Yeah, we won't say names, but yeah.
And so Josh was trying to work on something. He's over there touching his hand on the mouse, like, you got to do it this way. You got to do it this way. And you can see the frustration on Josh's face. So I was like, oh my God, this is hilarious. And other stuff that people do. It's like when you see stuff in reality, it's much more funnier than when you just like, well, let me just create this. So that's what kind of like sparked up. I was like, guys, maybe we should start on like little like mockumentary shows.
Yeah, I remember this was like I think it was right after The Office. So I always get, every time like I see people like Taylor, who was in the short in the web series, she's like, when are we gonna do another one? Like people are always like talking about it, which is funny because like we did this shit so long ago, but it was the first time we did like casting. I remember we did that. We brought in a bunch of people to audition for us. We did all the writing and directing. So talk more about that, like the process of the production.
Well, for me, it was like the first time doing anything with like production and directing, and actually just writing a script. Well, we wrote scripts because I kind of went to film school. Then I realized you got to go through all this bullshit training. It's like, wait a minute, I got to learn all this crap that just it's not beneficial. So it's like, fuck it. So that's why. Oh, sorry, we're allowed to swear.
Yeah, you can swear.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
So, the idea is like when I first started writing a script, at first it sounded good, like when you put it on paper. Or wait, put it this way. It's in your mind, and you put it on paper, and then when you try to see, it's like, okay, wait a minute. That's not working. So those were some of the learning benefits that I got out of it. And then when you're actually filming, trying to direct people, and then the camera guy, it's like, bro, you got to move back or, pull out or you got to zoom in here. That's where I need it. It's like, that's where you kind of learned. It's like, okay, how can I manage this better? How can I make it work? Because, man, there was times when we first started doing it, it was like take after take after take after take. And all of a sudden, it's like, man, we lost the funny in this, dude. It's like, I'm getting tired.
Yeah. So you said you went to film school. Like, did you graduate? Did you drop out? What was the whole experience with film school
Well,
for you?
the whole experience was like, I guess we had to take like curriculums. You know, when you go to college, they want you to take like your curriculums, math, English, all this stuff. Well, I kept avoiding it and putting classes out like benefit. You know, benefit. It's like, okay, filming, how to film. Okay, script writing, how to script, production design. You know, how to be a producer, how to direct. So those I saw that were okay. I need these. I don't need to go to. Okay, let me sit there for a semester of history, math. I mean, it's good. You know, if you want to learn, you know, like for example, we had that great guy Josh. He was like smart with math and he could calculate stuff. I was like, man, that's great, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah, no, I gotcha.
So then they were like, yeah, you can't move further unless you start taking these curriculums. I was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I don't want to come to school anymore.
So do you think like being hands on was more beneficial than actually going through all the bullshit of academic classes and shit like that?
It is.
Yeah.
It's yeah. When you do hands on, you start realizing that it's like you learn a lot more. It's a lot more quicker, faster than actually like sitting there going through class. Because you know when you're sitting there, it's like you're watching the instructor teaching you, but God, you're like falling asleep. But in a way, it's like okay, you know, you can teach, but then let's get the hands on going.
Mm-hmm.
And so, doing this, working at the studio, you know, it was like more hands on. It's like you felt the frustration. It's like, man, it's like I got to change stuff around because it's not working. When you see like scripts, I don't know if anybody seen like movie scripts. All of a sudden, there's like a blue page in there, a green page in there, a red page in there. It's because all of a sudden it's like it's a rewrite because something there didn't work, or it just like veered off track of what the director or whoever wanted the storyline. You know, just wasn't working.
Do you remember what the first script you wrote for the series?
Oh my God, it was what the Cream in the Middle. So Cream in the Middle was based on one of our employees there. It's like this guy was just like the handyman. All right, who's the guy that plays in Home Improvement?
Yeah.
Oh, what's his name? Oh my God,
Tim Allen.
He was our Tim Allen because this guy would just come in there. He had his utility truck, everything like that, and then sometimes he'd come in with a nice badass motorcycle, and then come to find out all that was stolen. So yeah, so when I did Cream in the Middle, it was because of this one guy. God, what did we call him? What was his name in that
I think his
show?
name was Jim in the series.
Oh yeah, Jimbo. There we go.
Jimbo, yeah.
Yeah. So his name was Jimbo, and Jimbo, you know, because that guy was always eating candy. He always had candy in his mouth. You know, he was always chewing. He was like, you know, trying to make things, and then he would just build sets. And for some reason, it's like when the feds caught him, I was surprised. Like, man, this guy did not steal anything from our.
From the studio.
Exactly.
He probably he needed a place to hide, so he probably didn't want to
Yeah.
steal from shit where you eat.
You know, yeah, the motorcycle, utility truck, and whatever he had, they were all stolen. You know.
Yeah, so I remember like Cream in the Middle is from the candy, and I remember like you know like when we were filming that, it was like we couldn't stop laughing because it was just the actor was so good, like his facial expressions. It was kind of like what you wanted to get out of him. This,
Exactly.
like, pervy, creepy guy eating candy with cream in the middle.
He's popping his sauce like, he'd shake his head and look around.
Do you have a? I mean, I think what everyone talks to me about when we talk about like they've seen the series is Breaking the D. I think that one's like everyone's favorite episode, and that's something the one that you wrote and directed. What was the inspiration for that?
That right there was an inspiration from another employee there. He was basically like he was like the manager in charge. This one manager's there in the studio web series. He's like in love with this one actress, but little does he find out that she's doing like porn on the side. So it kind of breaks his heart, and you know, we're the actors, we're all excited because like, yeah, I can't wait to go home and break my D to her, you know.
And Handsome Felipe is the one that finds out that she's a porn actress.
That's right, because well, you know,
And he comes and tells everyone. Yeah, that episode is hilarious. Do you remember like what's your favorite episode from the series?
To me,
Yeah, to you.
oh my God, dude, it's like there's like so many little spots that are like hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you got Nathan Gama and Josh got walking, trying to like, oh man, they're all talking. Can't wait to break my D2.
I think we
What was
say
her name,
breaking the D,
Jessica?
like Jessica. Yeah. There's so many times that we say breaking the D, and that episode is hilarious. That's what I want to ask you. Like, how did you come up with Handsome Felipe? Because all I did was copy the same thing and made it Angel Guapo in Spanish. But Handsome Felipe, that was like your character.
So basically, Handsome Felipe came from when we were in school, because that's where I met Bryle, who plays Nathan Gama, and oh my god, what's his name? Who plays IT wrestler Sean. So Sean there, and so we were doing like a simple little skit because Bryle he was making a commercial, and that's where we came up with the Rose. You know, it's like the pickup artist. So I was like, oh, we got the Rose. So it's like, you know what? Hey, let's make the Rose. In real life, he's Handsome Felipe. He's like the opposite of the Rose. You know, he thinks he's handsome, good looking, get the chicks. But in real life, you don't see him with no chicks. But then, you know, when Nathan Gama's there, it's like the Rose comes out, who was played by Handsome Felipe, me. And it's like he gives Nathan Gama, you know, the advice. But then you see Nathan Gama, he's with the girls throughout the whole series.
The whole series, yeah. That one's one of my favorite scenes too. Like when he's you're telling them, well, you say something, I can't remember what you say, but then like Bryle just puts like the panties on his face.
Oh,
and, like, cries.
No mercy for the pussy. That was a line, because Nathan Gama was what do you call it? What was that scene? He was confused, or you know, should I love her or should I just do her? And then the Rose shows up. I gotta slap some sense into him, you know, no mercy for the pussy.
Yeah, that's so funny.
And he's carried his little panties there. It's like, oh, just slap him.
Other than the web series, what other projects did you work on, like during film or after film school?
So when we did the web series, then after that, it's like I just started doing like short films. Whenever you started doing, Bryle started doing short films. So it's like, that's where I was like, oh, okay, I could be a character. You know, so for example, what was it the one, Dinner for One?
Yeah.
I get to play a waiter. And I was a miserable waiter there, because it's like you had like the little TikTokers on one end. You had the messed up couple who's like, she was getting fat and he was on coke. And then you had the couple who cheated on her, but he's trying to like, you know, it's like.
You were the comedy relief to, because it was supposed to be a drama, and I was like, I need something to, like, kind of break the tension of like, it's just not gonna be like drama scene after drama scene. So you were there to kind of lead, like, guide us through the couples, and then you were also the comedy relief. And I think out of all of us, you're like the best comedic actor. Like you, I don't know, you're just funny. You just have like this funny like thing. So when you were in film school, did you like take acting classes, or is that just something that you did?
I guess that was just like something that just came natural. Because there's times, you know, when it's like, okay, we did have to act, and then you had to do like the beep, bop, boop, or
what was that?
Like, I guess like when you do like the improvs.
Oh, okay, improv.
You know, so it's like when you first start off, you go beep, hit a person, then the person looks at another person, go like bop.
Oh.
And that person, like someone's like boop. And I was like, okay, this is stupid, but I guess it helps people, or when they're like going like blah, 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 you know, you're like, what the hell?
It helps you kind of like have that muscle to be able to improvise, I guess. I don't know.
But one good thing that kind of did help out, I remember one time we were doing it was script writing. So it's like before you do a character, it's like, seriously, it's like we had to write 10 pages about this character. You know, when was he born? Where did he live? What was his like? You know, what was his favorite cereal? What did he like to drink? What did he like to do in school? Was he bullied?
The whole backstory.
First time he masturbated, you know, the first time he watched porn, you know, so it's like, that kind of like gave you like a background. I was like, oh, okay, I know who my character is. You know, instead of like when you see movies and you got that person with that same monotone because they don't know who their character is. And you see it all a lot because it's like, especially when you see like independent films, you'll see like they'll probably have like the same character, and it's like, okay, this person didn't study his lines or didn't do any background on his character. It just shows up. It's like, oh, this is my lines, okay. And he's just like, all monotone. Hey, okay, yeah, that was scary. Okay, let's go. You're like, what the hell? It's like no emotion to it.
So let me tell you, what motivated you to? Let me ask you, what motivated you to go to film school and get into film?
You know what? That's a good question. To me, I guess I just like, I would say kind of like just like fell into it. And what I mean by that, it's like, it was just like one day I'm like watching like a YouTube video. It was like, I could do that. Or I could do this. And I was like, well, let me just go to film school.
Well, what were you watching? Was it like a movie that inspired you or anything? Like
It was like some like, because I seen like some little short videos that was like hilarious. And I still remember one. It's like, it was on YouTube that it was just like amazing because it was kind of like, you know how the Chucky doll?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a family, they move into a house. And there's like this little killer doll. And every time he's trying to kill me, he fails. It's like the dad's driving, you know, he's going to work. And you see a little Chucky doll. He got like a plastic bag about to choke him. But then he screams out, it's like, bah, but the bag like ends, just stops right here. And the little doll's just squeezing. And the guy's driving's like, okay, what are you doing? So then at the end, the little doll just like, you know what, I'm a failure. I can't kill anybody. He's thinking about ending his life. But that's when the house gets broken into by criminals. And they take the family hostage. And so then the little Chucky doll, the little doll, starts killing the bad guys. Yeah, so it was like
this
a different
was a YouTube
twist.
like movie or something?
Yeah, it was a short that was on YouTube. I was like, oh my God. And so I guess someone like put it like on the, you know, we do short films.
Yeah.
We throw in the circuit
On
out
YouTube,
there.
yeah.
And then after the circuit, it goes on YouTube. You know, and I just found that. I was like, oh my God, this is hilarious.
And you're like,
dude,
I can do that shit.
yeah. So that was like a good twist. I was like, oh man, I could come up with so much stuff like that. Okay.
Okay, that's cool. And then from there, you decided that film school was the way to go, or?
Yeah, because I didn't know any better. Yeah.
What you mean by that?
You know, you go there, it's like you're paying this much money for the training and schooling, and then you realize, like, fuck, I could just learn all this, you know, by hands-on training.
Yeah.
And especially if you're, like, getting an apprenticeship somewhere where, yeah, you know, they're not going to pay you, but you get the hands-on training, and hopefully, you know, they'll take you in. Because, you know, it's like you train somebody. It's best, because sometimes I see that, even where I work, it's like when somebody doesn't know nothing, it's so much easier to train, you know, someone the right way than someone already comes in with already like their little bad habits.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like, that's why it's like, to me, filming, that's like, I went to the school, I was like, wait a minute, why is this like, why do I got to go through all these obstacles? And then we started working at the studio, I was like, oh my God, dude, I just wasted money and time.
How long did you go for?
3 years.
Oh, damn. You're almost there then. You have one more year to graduate?
Yeah, but I didn't want to take those stupid electives. Like, nah.
You're waiting till the end to take that shit.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what? I already got what I needed. I'm out.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So you have a lot of stories from LA. I remember you telling a lot of stories from LA. You remember talking about all that?
Oh my God. Yeah, this was
You worked in Hollywood as a security guard or something?
I was security. So I used to work for like CAA, Creative Artists Agency, you know, William Morris Agency, Warner Brothers Studios. And so there it's like, you know, you saw many actors, you know, many people trying to like break into Hollywood. And it's like, it's always funny because you'd be surprised. It's like every day that I was sitting there, it's like people come with their scripts, try to like pitch me the story. I'm like, it's like,
to you, the security guard.
yeah, to me. It's like, you know, it's like, oh yeah, I just want to talk to an agent. It's like, okay, so I go, do you have a referral? It's like, no, but this story's so great. It's this and this and this. Like, okay, I'll make sure it gets to somebody. So like, oh, thanks. So then I would just take that script, and we had a bin, and so we just threw the scripts in there. And at the end of the night, we take that little bin, dump it in a dumpster.
Damn.
And there went all those stories. There was probably some good movies in there, but because you had to get a referral in order to get in with these agents, you know, it's like all those stories. Just
and who would refer them? Like, how would you get a referral to
Dude, that's
agents?
a good question. Because if I knew that, it's like I would have taken that like, hey, let's do this. But it's just like certain agents you were never allowed to talk to or say anything to. And my God, dude, it's like I've seen. It wasn't like every day. It's like I get a phone call. It's like, yeah, I just fired this intern. I want him out of here. It's like, okay. So I go over there. It's like, hey, you got to leave the building now. It's like, you know, she's over there crying, grabbing her stuff. And I was like, look, you got to go right now.
You weren't able to make any connections working there?
No. Well, by then I wasn't thinking about.
Yeah, you weren't thinking about film school.
I wasn't thinking of film school or the film industry.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, here I am, trying to be like, okay, I'm in a little foot here, 21, 22. And it's like, okay, trying to get into it with the LAPD or the sheriffs. That's the route I was going for. But then all of a sudden, it's like, it's fun. It's like as years go by, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Or,
You were, because you have a background in military, right? You went to Army or something?
I was in the Marine Corps.
The Marine. How long did you do that for?
My God, I was there for 6 years.
Oh, okay.
And that's when there, because I was doing more like how do you say, diplomatic, meaning I was more attached to like embassy duty, working with the president, working with the Secret Service.
Oh shit. Okay.
So that was like kind of my area.
Mm-hmm.
So then coming into Hollywood, I was also doing they call it bodyguard work, but I call it still security. To like big time movie stars, producers.
Any cool people you meet? Or were they all assholes?
Some were cool, some were a-holes, like one guy's like Chevy Chase. It's like he tried to get into like CAA, talk to his agent. It's like, yeah, you're not on the referral list. Can't let you in. He goes, do you know how fuck I am? You know how fuck I am, you little shit. This guy was like, what is he, like 6 something? And I'm like looking at him, I was like, sir, yeah, you got to leave.
Yeah. Even though he was a Chevy Chase, you couldn't let him in?
No, because if it wasn't by referral, he couldn't come in.
Hell.
Even if he tried to get through the doors, he wouldn't go in because the doors are they have those magnetic locks. So you got to click them in. So it doesn't matter how much he kicks and screams, it's like, sir, you got to leave, I don't care if you're Chevy
Did he have an
Chase.
agent there or no?
He had an agent there. Well, his agent, but if his agents didn't want to see him, he couldn't come in. Yeah.
Damn. Who was it? Someone cool that you met? Or someone you're like, oh shit, that's someone that you liked that you met?
Someone that was cool.
You don't remember?
No.
Yeah, that's funny. All right. I want to talk about Battle Jesus.
Dude, that was like, oh my God. So Battle Jesus was like a little story I came up with in film school. Oh my God. It's like what? It's still like in a back burner. I started writing the script.
Write it, man.
But yeah, so Battle Jesus, it's like just like a quick little, it's about, Jesus. It's like, so the devil comes to Las Vegas because, it's Sin City. And there's that one little Bible thumper who hasn't sinned yet. And the devil needs to sacrifice him in order to fully control the world. But then Jesus comes down, tries to stop the devil. But all of a sudden, Jesus, he doesn't have his Jesus powers. So he gets in a fight with the devil. Devil fucks him up really hard, And then that's when he's saved by the rose.
The rose comes in.
And he starts teaching Jesus how to fight.
Okay.
So, got the little montage, Jesus fighting, training, and it's the final battle scene where they got to sing the last Bible thumper. And it's Jesus versus the devil. But I can tell you how it's going to end.
Is it a comedy or?
You know
it has
what?
to be a comedy.
The way it's written, it's like it's serious. And when you write something like it's serious, it comes out funny. So a lot of people think it's a comedy, but but I'll be like, it's not a comedy, all right? It's serious.
Yeah, you gotta write it, bro.
Okay.
I know you've been talking about that forever. I think it's hilarious, even though you say it's not a comedy. Cool. Anything else you want to do, like with film or anything?
Oh man.
Other than Battle Jesus.
Well, with everybody, it's like you come up with ideas. It's like, okay, I wanted to do the WTF that I watch.
Yeah, let's talk about the Rose skits that you and Sean did. So there's a bunch of skits that you and Sean did with the Rose, with your character. And just talk a little bit about that, and I'll put a link so people can go and watch them.
So basically, with the Rose, what it was, it's like people would send questions, and the Rose would answer them. And it's like one where it's like someone sent me, it's like, my boyfriend beats me. What should I do? And so the Rose gave the advice. So it's like, oh, It just showing that he loves you. And then it cuts down where it's like where she sees a little girl crying because the little boy hit her, but her mommy's like, "Oh, it's because he loves you." So so it's okay to beat a woman.
Oh my god.
So another person sent a question: should I date a fat girl? Dude, all I said to that whole episode was straight out no, and it ended. And that one keeps getting flagged. Every time we put it up, it got flagged and brought down. I was like, what the hell? It was just an answer. It's like, it's okay to have the one where the guy beats the woman, but I can't say no to a fat chick.
Damn.
So
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so.
And these are, by the way, like comedic, sarcastic skits. It's like.
That's what they were supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's like people send in their, it's like random guests, in the chat. It's like they'll send in their questions and the Rose would answer them.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, some of these people did take it seriously or some people even hated it. I was like, oh my God, it's comedy, guys.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Jeez. All right. Anything else you want to talk about before we wrap it up?
Oh, man. It's
let's end it with something motivational for the people.
Well, Shia LaBeouf already said it. Just do it. But Nike did that already.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, because he's playing a chick now. So if you ever just go type in Shia LaBeouf, main character, he plays a chick now because now men can play chicks. And he looks nothing like a guy. Wow. I was like, holy crap.
Okay, I got to check that out.
See, women? See what you started?
All right,
you
guys.
F yourselves.
I said end with something positive. All right, guys. Thank you, Juan, for being here.
Hey, thank you for bringing me on.
We're going to create more stuff. We're going to make him do Battle Jesus. See you next time.